Week is Farfalina and Marcel, and before we read the story, let's take a look over here at our amazing words. Let me see if I can get this set up right here for Andrew. Hey Andrew, how you doing, buddy? Okay. Oh, I love how some of my friends are sitting quietly. Let's take a look again at these amazing words before we read our story, because I want you to listen for them, because that helps us better understand what they mean. So in Farfalina and Marcel, one of our amazing words is reflection. Can you say reflection? And reflection is what we see when we look in the mirror. So when we see ourselves in the mirror or in a mirrored looking object, when we see ourselves, that's called a reflection. Right here, this duck is looking at this underneath him is a reflection in the water. This word is gosling. Can you say gosling? Gosling. Gosling is a baby goose. All right? Goose. Can you say the word goose? Goose. And goose is a large water bird, like a duck is a water bird. A goose is a water bird. Then we have the word butterfly. Can you say butterfly? Butterfly! And butterfly is a flying insect with beautiful wings. And then we have the word caterpillar. Can you say caterpillar? Caterpillar. And caterpillar is an insect that looks like a worm, but it spins a cocoon, which leads us to the next word, which is what, friends? Cocoon. And a cocoon is the shell where a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. So, the life cycle of a butterfly is the insect, the caterpillar, starts as a caterpillar, and then it spins a cocoon. It sleeps in the cocoon, and while it's sleeping in the cocoon, it changes. It grows wings and changes into a beautiful butterfly. So let's listen to Farfalina and Marcel, because this is a great story about friendship. And it's just one of my favorite stories in our reading series that we look at weekly. And so let's sit up nice and tall. Let's turn our listening ears on. And I'll do it on the smart board so everyone can see it, since it's not a big book. And it's Farfalina and Marcel. And yesterday when we talked about this, we looked at the cover, and then we looked at the inside of the pages. And do you think this is realism or make-believe? Make-believe. Because it's going to be about a duck. It looks like it's going to be about a duck and a caterpillar, which are real insects and animals. However, if it's going to be a story about them and it's not real life pictures telling us about them, this is probably non-fiction, not real. But it is a good story and we can learn a good lesson. This is called Farfalina and Marcel, the cover page, and it tells us the author. It doesn't give me the illustrator here, just the author. And what does the author do? Who can tell me what the author does? Olivia? The author writes the words, and this author is Holly Keller. Now we're going to open up, and this is called the title page. And when you open up a book and you see this part right here, this is the title page. And it gives the title, Farfalina and Marcel, and it gives the author and the illustrator. I am thinking that our author is also the illustrator, because it doesn't give me the name of one. Holly Keller. And what does an illustrator do? Draws the pictures. Good job, Kay. And then we open up, and in a book, this says for John and Josie. And they call this a dedication page. So the author, when they write a story, sometimes they dedicate the book to somebody special. All right, here we go. Let's listen up. The rain fell all morning. It splattered on the pond and splashed on Farfalina's leaf. She found a dry spot and ate it. So who do you think Farfalina is?
The caterpillar.
The caterpillar.
The big caterpillar, that's so cute.
Caterpillar, that's right. voice. "You're eating my umbrella." Farfalina appeared over the edge. A small gray bird was huddled underneath. Farfalina liked his soft feathers and his gentle eyes. "I'm Farfalina," she said, and she slid down to the ground. "My name is Marcel," said the bird. He liked Farfalina's smile and pretty colors. So Farfalina's the caterpillar and Marcel is the... The rain turned to drizzle, and Farfalina wanted to play. "I'll hide and you find me," she said. Marcel agreed. Farfalina hid under a fern close to the ground because she knew that Marcel could not climb. "Now I'll hide," said Marcel when she found her, and he hid right behind the tree because he knew that Farfalina moved slowly. "I'll take you for a ride on the pond," said Marcel. Farfalina inched her way up to Marcel's back. "You tickle," said Marcel, and he slipped into the water. Farfalina giggled. "There's so much to see," she said. Farfalina and Marcel played together every day. They liked the same games, and they liked each other. But one day, Farfalina was not herself. "I'm not sick," she told Marcel. "I'm just a little uncomfortable. I need to climb up onto a branch and rest for a while." "I'll wait for you," Marcel called. As Farfalina made her way up the tree, Marcel watched until Farfalina was completely out of sight. Then he settled himself in the grass and waited. Look at what she's going to do. Night came and then morning, but Farfalina didn't come down. Marcel called to her, but she didn't answer. He worried and was terribly lonely. Weeks went by, the afternoons grew longer and warmer, and Marcel went to the pond. He was growing, and when he looked at his reflection in the water, he hardly recognized himself. He went back to the tree every day to look for Farfalina, but she was never there, and after a while, he gave up. At the top of the tree, Farfalina was snuggled in a blanket of glossy silk. She was growing too. And look, I'm going to pull it down so you can see. Do you see right there?
It's right there. The cocoon is right there.
The sky was blue and clear the morning she was ready to come out and open her beautiful new wings.
I know what that is. Butterfly.
She had no idea how long she'd been up in the tree, and she floated down to find Marcel. "I'll just wait," said Farfalina, when she didn't see him, and she sat on a flower. So where was Marcel?
In the cocoon.
Not, no, Marcel's the goose.
He went home.
Yeah, he got tired of waiting. He thought maybe Farfalina forgot about him, and he went to the water. And was Marcel growing? Yeah, Marcel was growing too, because remember when he looked at his reflection, did he notice himself?
Reflection.
Night came, and then morning, but Marcel wasn't there. Farfalina was tired and confused. She fluttered around a bit, and then she went to the pond. The pond was glassy smooth, except for the ripples, made by a large, handsome goose, who was swimming in solitary circles. Farfalina shivered with disappointment. Why do you think Farfalina was disappointed?
Because she couldn't find the goose.
She couldn't find Marcel, the goose. But she saw this goose. Who do you think this goose is?
Marcel.
You think?
Yes.
She went to the pond every day. She looked for a small gray bird named Marcel, but he never came. One morning, the goose stopped his silent rounds and spoke to her. "You must like it here," he said. Farfalina fluttered a bit. "I've been waiting for a friend," she said sadly, "but I don't think he'll come." So, who do you think this goose is?
Marcel.
And this is who? This Farfalina. And do they know each other? Do they recognize each other? Marcel liked her smile and her brilliant colors. "I know how you feel," he said. "I lost a friend too." She vanished into thin air. Farfalina liked his sleek feathers and his gentle eyes. "A ride around the pond might cheer you up," Marcel said. Farfalina thought it would, and she settled herself on Marcel's back. "It's funny," Marcel said, "but I feel as though I've known you for a long time." "I was just thinking the same thing," said Farfalina. "My name is Farfalina. What's yours?" Marcel stopped suddenly. He beat the water with his strong wings, and then he swam around and around and around. "It's me, Farfalina," he shouted. "It's me, Marcel." "Is that really you?" "It is," Farfalina shouted back. They looked at each other and they laughed. By evening, they had explained everything as they fell asleep, smiling in the stars. Farfalina and Marcel spent the rest of the summer playing just as they had before. Marcel was careful not to fly too fast because he knew that Farfalina couldn't keep up. Farfalina didn't hide in the flowers because she knew that Marcel would never find her. And when the leaves on the trees around the pond turned red and gold, they decided to go south. Together. What do you think it means they decided to fly south together? Hazel.
To a warmer place.
They went to a warmer place when it's cold. And why did Farfalina and Marcel not recognize each other?
Because they were growing.
They were growing and they didn't see each other while they were changing and growing. And when they realized that they had found each other again, how were they? And did it matter that they changed and grew different? No, they still became and still stayed best friends. I think that's a sweet, sweet story about a goose and a caterpillar. Because no matter how we change with the way that we look, we're always the same on the inside. We always have love in our hearts for all of our friends and family. So, did you like this story? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up. I love the story.
No.
Okay. Now, boys and